Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to do code-based search using Sourcegraph VSCode Extension. In a previous video that I made, I already shared this tool, Sourcegraph, that I use for, searching code across different repos. And in that video, I was able to share with you how to use it, directly from the web. But the great thing is you can actually use it from your VS Code editor. I'm going to be sharing with you how to do that in the course of this video. Don't you just hate it when you're trying to find a specific code in a very large code base, or you're trying to find a specific code in an open source repo? Going through each file can be very daunting. But what if I tell you that there is a solution to this? And that is where Sourcegraph comes into the picture. Sourcegraph for VS Code allows you to search millions of repositories right in your VS Code editor for free, right? You can learn from helpful code examples from different repos. You can use it to learn some best practices, and you can also use it to reuse some code from different repositories. Now I'm going to show you how to use Sourcegraph extension right in VS Code. Let's get right into that part. To get started, we first have to install the Sourcegraph VS Code extension, and to do that you can do it in two different ways. You can either install it directly from the VS Code marketplace and searching for the code extension that you want to install, or you check in the extensions tab directly in VS Code and search for the extension you want, which is Sourcegraph, right? As you can see here, I already have it installed and I'm using the preview version for this video. By the time the video gets uploaded, Sourcegraph will be public and you can install it in your own VS Code editor. But for now, I already have it installed. The next step would be to, run it and see how it works. So let's do that. To run the Sourcegraph VS Code extension, we can use the Command-Shift-P and search for Sourcegraph, and you get several different options. The one that we're looking for is to show Sourcegraph in your VS Code editor. So what you get is the web instance of Sourcegraph directly present in your code editor. So you can directly search here, exactly what you get on the website, you get it in VS Code. What I'm planning to do with this project is to see if I can actually search my own code repositories as well as other open source code repositories. But in order for me to search my own, I have to link and sync this Sourcegraph instance to the Sourcegraph cloud. And I already have an account, but if you don't, you can create an account or directly sign in. So I opted to sign in, and it's here asking me that sign in by entering the access token created through your user settings on sourcegraph.com, which I have not done yet. So I'm going to go back to sourcegraph.com to create an access token that I would enter here. So let's do that. Right on sourcegraph.com, I am signed in. So I'm going to go to settings, access tokens, and I'm going to generate a new token. What's this token for? Let's say VS Code integration. Generate token. So what I need to do next is copy this token that was generated, go back to my VS Code and add it there. So after adding the token, it should automatically connect, my Sourcegraph cloud account to the one that I have here in VS Code. Let's see how to use this search extension to search some of the different code bases that I have. Sourcegraph functions like any search engine. Simply type in your search query and Sourcegraph is going to populate you with search results. I've gone ahead to sync my GitHub repos with my Sourcegraph cloud account. It's easy for me to just go on the code search here on the web or the code search in the code editor and search for anything in my code base and I can find it. Let's do that. Let's go to VS Code. Now, in VS Code, I currently set the context of all of my search to be my own personal repositories that I've created using my own GitHub repo username, Laura Gifts. And I'm searching for the string Nox, and you can see populated with every result that, in all of my repos that have Nuxt in it, which is great. But in Sourcegraph, there are 3 different ways for searching code effectively. There is the literal search, there is the structural search, and then there is regular expression search. We're going to look at each of them and how it works. First, literal search. Literal search is a way to search for an exact string in your code base. So in this case, you know what you're looking for. You know that, oh, this is what exactly I am trying to find in my repositories, and then you go on to just put in the string and then it comes up. An example is exactly what I'm doing here by just going on to type Nuxt. That's a literal search. Or in a case where I'm trying to search for a specific function name or a specific variable name, that's if I know exactly what it is called. The second way you can search in Sourcegraph is by using the structural search method. The structural search helps you search code for syntactical code patterns like function calls, arguments, if-else statements, and try-catch statements. So in our case, I want to see if I can find a specific function call. And to use such structural search, you need to always turn this on. So right now it's off. I need to always enable the structural search icon right there. With the structural search function icon turned on, I'm going to try to search for a function that I have in one of my repositories, and it's called showToast. showToast. You can see it finds like literally the exact place where I have that function call. I'm going to try another one. I have another repository where I have a function called delete sticky, and I pass the parameter sticky ID. So I'm going to see if that would be returned. Yeah, so it also returns the exact result. So that's how you use structural search patterns in Sourcegraph. Finally, you can use regular expression patterns to search for code using Sourcegraph Cloud or Sourcegraph VSCode integration. Now, regular expressions, often called regex, helps you find code that matches a specific pattern. This could be letters, numbers, spaces, and it restricts it to only results, like the results you get only matches those patterns that you're asking for. I'm going to show you different examples of where to use regular expression. But first, to use regular expression method, you need to turn on the regular expression here by enabling it. Now it's enabled. An example could be I'm trying to search for patterns where I'm calling some CSS Xcode. So where I'm calling, for example, the color black or the color green, but I want to search for it everywhere in all of my code base. I could use this regular expression pattern here where it's saying that it should search for the language CSS and it should return this digit for CSS. So if I go ahead to search, you see the returned result is all of the Xcode for the CSS that I've added in all of my repositories. You can use space in your regular expression patterns in a situation where you're looking for 2 different keywords that are separated by any other text in between. For example, they are used in the same sentence, but they are separated by different text. You can use regular expression to find this. So an example could be modules function. And when I search for this, the results that I get gives me results for where modules and function are used in the same sentence. But even if you're separated by like different, words, it doesn't really matter. It still fetches me that result. Another example is when I'm trying to find whole words using word boundaries. So basically what this means is we might use counts in different places, right? Count could be a function call, count could be a variable name. It could even be called counter. It could be called count integer, but I'm only looking for counts as a function or a variable. So what I could do is add a regular expression that searches just count without returning any other thing. And I would use this to search for that. So it returns only count without counter. If I remove that, just to show you the results that I get, I'm going to get like different results. So here is discount, here is account, But by adding that regular expression pattern, specifically saying that only fetch me where count is used, right? That's different ways that you can actually use the regular expression pattern in searching for code in Sourcegraph. What more can you do with Sourcegraph? You can actually use filters, which are this very nice way of drilling down your search to specific things. And there are different filters that Sourcegraph offers you. So you can say, for example, you want to filter your results to only return repos, or return a specific file, or return a specific language. These are just some examples of different ways of searching using filters. So for example, if I'm trying to search for a specific thing, and if you just return only files written with view, and I search for count, you'd see that all the results that I get are just view files, right? Use these different filters to drill your search down to specific results. And for me, that's like one extra way or one extra thing that you can do when you're using Sourcegraph for code search. Codebase search doesn't have to be hard anymore if you need to do it. With tools like Sourcegraph and even better, seamless tools like Sourcegraph VSCode Extension, you can easily search through millions of Codebase and use it for your daily workflow. I hope this video was helpful in explaining how this works, and I hope you go ahead to find and use it. Let me know in the comment section if you have any question. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.